Just keep the other two up there, okay?
Dad.
Sound's working. Ow.
You just have to tell him to go in his kennel when you're ready.
Okay. Do you have the dog?
Empty boy is live.
I'll get mine out in a minute. He's in meetings, but I'll come.
Oh, you want me to get the computer open?
Who's hitting the like buttons?
It's Naomi. I'm gonna do a handshake. Right now we have 4 likes and 4 people watching.
Hey, what's going on? Naomi. Jay Lee, how are you doing?
Huge comfort.
How's that? How'd it go? How's it going, I should ask. What's going on? Man, we already off to a good start. Is that a me or a standard Ruger? That's a Mark 1. That's first year production. It's number 4,000 something, first year production. What? Yeah, you're gonna turn this on. You're gonna use your sights. We'll watch your dot and keep it as still as you can while you pull it. Yeah, it's a Mark 1. Has first year production, 1952. After my 2 week training, I'll be running the night shift. Right on, Jay Lee. See what, Harley? See, it's you can move some. It's expected, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got the laser out for my daughter to practice a little bit of dry fire tonight. There you go. They both have, well, all 3 of us have a USPSA match this weekend. Get your stance, get your grip. Nice and slow, breathe. Yeah, well, 2 weeks will go quick in training. So I'm glad that's gonna go good. Lean into it, or I'm gonna start kicking you in your ass. Nice and slow, get your grip right. Yeah, you were saying your old boss was a real douche, so. I wasn't even planning on doing a live tonight, and I stopped in. Jimmy had a live going, so I stopped in and said hi to him, and I recognized a few people in his chat, so I said hi to him, hi to them guys. And he got all pissed off. He said this was his show, and if we wanted to have chats or conversations, we needed to go somewhere else for it. So I figured, all right, we'll put it up on live. But yeah, how are you doing? John, how'd your day go? Good chair. Hey, Woo, what's going on, man? How are you doing? He's not quite right. You fucked up your hand at work. What did you just like strain it, smash it, overwork it? Yeah, I'm good, man. Doing okay. Nothing real crazy. Like I said, daughter's working on some dry fire. It's working on nice trigger control and her stance and grip. She shot the Steel Challenge match with the 22 this weekend. That went good for her. But then the last stage of the day was an outlaw stage, and she wanted to use her pistol. I don't know why, but man, she flinched. She really flinched hard on it. Yeah, neither spraining your wrists from jerking off at lunch, but you know, we've all done it. All right, well, you be good, man. I'll catch you another time. Still bleeding, and that was 2 hours ago. You might need stitches. All right, Jay Lee, we'll catch you another time, man. I don't. Yeah, yours is a lot higher. That's first year production. I don't know what yours with a serial number like that. That definitely wasn't first year, but Mason, how are you doing? What'd you pick up, Mason? I wasn't even gonna do a live, but I saw you in Jimmy's show, and kind of got pissed off when people started saying hi to one another. So, taking his advice, he said it was his time, and either we were there to talk to him or we go somewhere else. So I figured, fine, I'll put a live on. Arizona Kid, how are you doing? Like I was telling you before, Mason, the guy there at in Fond du Lac there, he was on our squad last fall, and he was running his MP5, and we had him on the last stage of the day where he accidentally went full auto.
She said, "Put 'em on."
Yeah, like I said, that's first year production. That was it 1952, I think, was the first year of production. It's under 4,000 on the serial number. Mitsuri, yeah, they're all real. What, Harley? Come here.
Which do I press to stop, please?
I want to watch you. Get back here so I can make you do it right. Come back here. Yeah, a lot of people are here. How'd your day go, Arizona Kid? Yeah, I've never bought anything in there. I've been in there a few times. I was gonna buy their M107, but they wanted 15 grand, and I ended up getting mine for 12. Because I bought mine for 12 is when I bought my first race gun. So, but they're decent people. Lean into it. And again, stop. Look at me. You're doing duck foot out. Try to get your toes straight, and then spread your knees out like you're gonna sit down onto a horse. Did I miss Ben in here? Oh, there he is. Bullseye Ben, how are you doing, man? I didn't see you at first. I was correcting my daughter on her stance. She's doing some dry fire practice. There you go. I don't have any experience. The fuck was that? I know what you did. No experience on that. I haven't been on your channel. I haven't been on really anybody's channel today, so I'll check them out yet, hopefully tonight. John. Oh, okay, that's why I didn't know it was you. Well, now I know it's your channel. I want to watch nice and slow. Okay. Xbox boys, you're too young to have girlfriends. Nice and slow, Harley. While looking at your sights. Okay, that's acceptable. There you go. Depressing. 223 DMR. How are you doing, man? How'd your day go? I mean, Xbox boys, I guess we know how. Why'd you break up with her? I guess let's start there. Why'd you break up with your girlfriend? Do some more. So that's how you need to remember, you know, the Sunday when you shoot, right? Guns move. But the idea is keep it as still as you can. Right? That's what you're working on. Getting your trigger press. Okay? Am I steadier than you? Orange smoke. Gage? Harley?
Hi. Thank you.
That,
$50.
that
Thank
covers
you,
your
Orange Smoke.
that covers your guys' match. I appreciate that, Orange Smoke. I was hoping Orange Smoke's a solid guy. I enjoy him being here. He sponsored my daughter's match last weekend, and he sponsored Gage a full meg of major to shoot. We just haven't done that yet, but he just sponsored both of them for Sunday. That's solid as fuck. Because what that does is that frees me up to be able to let them practice more. So, way solid, man. So Orange Smoke, that Volkorstron, the 22 WMR, I didn't pull it all up, but that's their actual, that's their own frame, right? They manufactured that frame. That's not like the other ones where they use the Ruger frame. You want to test the 429 Desert Eagle? That would be, I think that, I'm not familiar with it, but.
Insecure, right?
Xbox boys, all girls do that, man. Sooner you figure it out, the better off you're gonna be. Yeah, that's what I was taking out of that too. Is it's you know Ruger style, but it's just like all the other companies now where they don't have any active patents on it. So, and I was looking at your picture a little bit, and again, I didn't have time to open up and go to their site. The picture I sent you, that was an email I got. I had heard back down in Hartford, Wisconsin. Hold Up Displays is there. Everybody knows what Hold Up Displays is. And I reached out to them, asked them if we could come down and tour their facility and talk to them. And they declined the offer. They offered me a really great, what do you want to call it? Price break on stuff. I mean, they offered to knock about 60% off of the product for me. But I'm not really interested in their product. I was interested in just going and touring a Wisconsin company. So.
Look at the Ben one. Benson Ben. Wilson.
Yeah, that's a daily driver. 10 years, red dot, still lights up nice and bright.
Me too, bro, me too.
Yeah, most of them early red dot optics still work. I still have my aim points from, 2002, 2003, 2004. Every time they laughed at your small PP. Never. So Ben, I don't know if you ever heard this story, but I know I've said this before, but back in the day when my wife and I started dating, I was all excited that time was finally going to happen, right? sit there, you know, finger bang, pow, kiss, do all that stuff. It's all right. We're gonna fuck, right? So I'm all excited. I strip my clothes off. I'm standing there in all my glory, and she looks down at me and she goes, "Well, who are you gonna please with that?" And I said, "Well, me." Is that you in your video? Echo, I'm not sure which video you talk about. Probably. Most of my videos on my channel are all either me or my kids.
I'm gonna get ready for bed now. So,
Yeah, we stopped. So I was talking with Mason. I stopped in there, and I wasn't even going to comment, and I saw Mason and a couple other people in there. So I said hi to him first. And then he asked about GunCon. I said, "Yep, I'm going to GunCon on a media pass." And then I started saying hi to everybody. And when they started saying hi back, he got all kinds of bent out of shape and said this was his me time. And if we wanted to have conversations amongst ourselves, we needed to go somewhere else. So being the kind of guy I am, I said, you know what? I wasn't planning on doing a live, but I'll do a live. So hi to everybody that's here. I'm glad you came. Hope your day went well. Arizona kid, my experience is kind of limited, right? So I like all the poor boys. You know, I have Tapcos, I have some Bushnells, I have a more modern Vortex. Most of my red dots are all aim point Comp M2s or Comp M4s, and then EOTech. So a lot of the new stuff, you know, like my kid, we put that Vortex Defender ST on his gun. I can't really speak much of it. I've shot it. I've tried it. It's nice. I'll buy more, but I haven't shopped around. You know, I can't compare Delta points with the SROs or the, you know, Hollow Suns. I don't have any experience with them. A lot of that stuff is either you regurgitate what everybody else says or you pay to play or pay to learn. It's a market that I'm slowly moving into because I'm getting older. But you know, I will say for like carbines and stuff, for years, I used just a straight red dot. I always thought the magnifiers behind them was a stupid idea. And if I was going to have a magnifier behind a red dot, I'd just put an LVPO on. Well, I don't know, 3 years ago, I picked up one magnifier just to see. And now everything I have with a red dot has a magnifier behind it. TA Air 500 targets. No, I haven't used any of them.
Dad, do you want me to leave right out?
Yeah, you don't need to leave them locked in there.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that. I actually put a post up on it. I'm not gonna lie. I would almost consider buying one. I'm not gonna rule it out just because I'm curious. One, it's either gonna be a piece of crap, which I really don't think it's gonna be. You know, you can all say what you want about High Point, and the guns themselves are crude, right? They're crude, but they work. So it's hard to say that they have good or poor quality control because their stuff works like it's supposed to. They're building a crudely built firearm. So for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, I mean,
Mountain Man, how are you doing?
they're at least not having to put in their safety manuals to not carry them.
Yeah.
With a running mag.
I don't see High Point.
Chamber.
I don't see High Point putting in their owner's manuals not to carry with a round in the chamber. Yeah, that's absolutely true, John. Like I said, I like red dots. So we're going to take the Shadow Systems MR920P. Gage is going to be shooting his Tactical Sport Orange with that Vortex Defender ST, and I'm going to shoot my Checkmate. I'm still going to have problems with mine. I still have some rounds to burn through on that. My last batch, I definitely used the wrong primers, some popping primers. So I'm going to have malfunctions, and that's fine. That's great. But it is what it is. You know, I'll be surprised too, like John was saying, some early Bushnell red dots and some early even Tapco red dots. I still have them, you know, 30 years later, and they still work just fine. So I don't always shoot it, but that's probably about 90% of the time I shoot it. So some point this summer I'll switch over to the DWX. I just don't know at what point. That's an expensive gun. I have 2 of them, and I bought them specifically for competition. So I don't really want to stop shooting 9mm major, but I kind of do want to play with that DWX. So at some point I'll switch over to it. I'm pretty sure once I switch over, I'm probably not going to want to switch back for a while. And that's just from the experience I have shooting the gun. It's a really, really, really enjoyable gun to shoot. Arizona Kid, I'll talk to you later, man. I hope you have a good day, what's left of it, and I'll check your videos out. Like I said, I haven't been on anybody's stuff really today. Same with you, Mountain Man. I'll catch you later. I hope you have a good day. I appreciate all you guys stopping in and hanging out. So, but we shoot. What do we shoot? We shoot this weekend.
And then it's the IDPA the following weekend, which I work though.
So then I think Harley and I are going to shoot IDPA the following weekend.
And then Steel Challenge.
And then it's Steel Challenge again. And then back to USPSA.
No, it's week off then. USPSA.
Oh, back to week off. So are you taking off 2 Xbox? Might just sleep in the car. Are you, Bullseye Ben, are you taking your old lady too? So I'll be going. Either my son Gage will be coming with me or my son Che. I'm not opposed to bunking up in a room if you want to split a room. There ain't going to be any weird shit going on. Socks will be on. I only ask if you're bringing your old lady because she probably wouldn't want to share a room with a random stranger, but yeah, so I'm not opposed to doing that. I mean, you guys got to remember, I was in a motorcycle club for 10 years. There's weird shit that goes on. Yeah, so I have no concern. Later on, I'll jump in your stuff. Keep an eye on your messages. I'll shoot you my phone number in one of your messages or one of your videos. And that way you'll be able to get a hold of me directly. Just do me a favor when you get it. Please erase it. So, and actually my son, Ammo, how are you doing, man? I have to when I get home. I missed something there, Xbox, I'm sorry. Yeah, we can do that. That'll work.
Oh, this is bedtime. It is in 50 minutes. I've been waiting for 4 hours.
Let me tell you something, Xbox. Everybody in here is a man. Everybody in here is grown up. Dude, women are going to come and go, right? Just understand that. They're going to come and go. They're all replaceable. You know? But Ammo, how are you doing? I got it. I think I did. Go ahead and screenshot it again, just to make sure. Yukon Bob, how are you doing? Ammo, did you see that? I put it on the sub channels that with my little rant about YouTube. Actually, it was a CapCut thing, but I put the YouTube logo on it. I tagged you in it. I was kind of figuring you'd think it's funny as hell. I don't know if I want to try putting it on the main channel, but on them B channels, it's whatever. Yeah, Xbox boys, get home, man. You know, be careful. Don't bust your ass. And just remember, they come and go. There's no woman out there in the world that'll make a man. There's no person out there in the world that will make a man have so many different emotions as the woman that you're dating or married to. Why are you about to pass out, Ammo? Does Vigo, yes.
He's laying bad.
Ruger, no, that's a Mark 1. His first year of production. 1911, yep. No, not an Uzi, that's a Mac 11. And a Glock 17, not a Glock 19. Alvin, how are you doing? So Alvin, since you're here, I've been trying to tell you right along that that's why I told you to look at my profile pic. But I test the JLTVs, or did. Now we're not making them. But that was my job. That's why I was curious. When you were saying the suspension gets stuck, when you go all the way up into Forden, or when you go all the way down to tie down, part of the test procedure is you do bump the truck, because sometimes, like up in Forden, when you go back down to operational mode, they don't drop down. They like, it locks up, like you said, it freezes. But as soon as you get a little movement in the truck, forward or backwards, it'll drop right down, settle down. And it's the same from operational tie down. So I'm assuming that's the issues you guys have with them, right?
Yeah, Ammo's in bed, about to pass out because he's about to fall asleep. Xbox Boys just got home before he's talking about the fact he's outside being pitch black.
Yeah. All right, Xbox. Stay out of trouble, man. Yeah, that's exactly the issue. So it may seem like it's a problem, but it's normal. And what it is, it's well, you know, right? It seems kind of messed up, but it is normal. That is part of the expected operation, and it isn't actually our procedures to move the truck forward, move the truck backward, let the suspension settle before we continue with our testing procedures. So it does kind of suck. And some trucks, some of them, for whatever reasons, are worse than others. It is what it is. Usually, though, if you haven't been in any of the operational modes within like that day, they seem to hang up more. But if you were running the suspension up and down at all, then they usually up and down no problem. But when they sit for a little bit, they seem to act kind of weird. But other than that, how do you like them trucks? I like them. Unfortunately, what is it? General Dynamics division of General Motors is going to be building JLTV too. So hopefully they're as good or better. But I know they're badass. We did some cool shit with them. It was a fun truck to work on. Some of them, a lot of them, we'd have problems around the models. They would leak around the turrets, the turret rings. So yeah, I'm sure you've come across them. Our later variants, that was remedied, but the earlier ones, they'd get issues when they'd laser cut them. But Yukon Bob, you had the Mac 380. That was an open bolt, right? Next Armory, how are you doing? I'm doing good, man. It was a good day. Joseph, yep, them are definitely firearms. I forget whose live I was in the other night. It might have been yours, Ben. It was either yours or maybe Chanson's. And somebody said, "Yeah, everybody's here." And I think I said something like Ammo wasn't there. I'm like, "Well, where's Ammo?" I said, "He's probably doing the dishes so his wife doesn't ground him and take his guns away." But he wasn't there, so it wasn't quite as funny. But I should have bought one of them 380s for a long time. I mean, people, they couldn't give them away. That's why they were open bolt and they had them available for so long, because nobody wanted them. Looking back at it now, I wish I would have bought a couple. And I was gonna a few different times. I'm like, it was 380. Didn't really want a 380, Yeah, my daughter last weekend, she shot, I don't know if any of y'all saw it, but she shot Chinese takeout tonight. No dishes were dirtied. Right on. Dude, there's no such thing as a happy wife. If you think at this point you can still keep her happy, you definitely have not been married long enough. So. I forgot what it was. Oh, so yeah, my daughter shot Steel Challenge last weekend with the Black Mamba. She did pretty good with that. Yeah, they're good trucks, man. And I can tell you from my point of view, but I'm gonna say this to a soldier, right? I don't know you. I've never met you. I wouldn't mind the opportunity. You have a great truck that everybody along our process cares about you and your families, and that's a constant reminder amongst ourselves to tell us what's at stake. Um, we take pride when we see pictures of trucks coming back, and we don't see it as much anymore. But when trucks were coming back blown up, and then there'd be a picture of the 4 or 5 crew members, and they're all there with their families because they survived, right? We know what's at stake, and none of it was ever dismissed as that's good enough or that'll be okay or that's fine. It was we tried to give you guys the best product, the best and most capable vehicles we possibly can. So I hope you can take that for what it is. So, but yeah. All right, Ben. We'll see you in a minute. Nick's Armory, how was your day, man? What did you do today? Anything good? And John, I think I started saying it, but I maybe I didn't get it all out. If you're still bleeding, you might want to either get some super glue or go get some stitches, man. You gonna hang out for a while or you going up?
Not going to bed, but I'm taking my bath and using the bathroom. I'll be back down.
Okay. I figure we'll probably just run till 9 o'clock. I know it's a school night, so everybody's got to get up for work and stuff. Orange Smoke, did you get any adventures with any crackheads or meth heads? Well, I mean, do you have some super glue to put on it at least so it quits bleeding? Believe it or not, super glue works great at punctures and slices. Yeah, them are great vehicles, you know. And some of our testing with them is we were destroying them. They're good vehicles, man. That's why anytime I come across somebody like you who has stuff and I see them in there, any of the Oshkosh vehicles, I always ask, hey man, how do you like them? You know. All right, then help pops with some stuff. Now sit back and relax. All right, well, I'm glad you chose to sit and relax with me. So John, were you looking for more of a Target style 22, or were you looking for something more like a standard like type carry gun or a 22 variant of a carry gun? Xbox boys, you know, it'll happen. Phone's nothing, man. You'll have it back in a few days. Sometimes be honest with them and just say, hey, look, I know I'm late, but I had a bad day. This is what happened. And it's probably not going to mean anything right now. But with your parents, you looking at them and saying, being straight up, that's going to mean something to them. You're on a different job site, but back in Methville tomorrow. So when I was a kid, I think I was about 16 at the time. I was working for my uncle for the summer. He owned a window washing company. And so we were washing windows, and we had a place just south of us. It's a nun convent. So it was, I think it was like the school where they're learning to be nuns, whatever that's called. But I was up on a ladder, and we have lake flies. They're like mayflies, but they're like 1,000 times worse. And they hatch a few times a year, but they get all over the glass and stuff. So I'm up on this second story building. I'm using it was like a 4-inch razor, right? Scraping shit off the windows. Spent $250 on ammo last week. Yeah, ammo's never cheap. Yep. Pay the snucker what's going on. So anyway, I'm up there. I'm scraping these bugs off the window on this ladder, and I hit the edge of the glass, and this fucking razor got knocked out of my hand. I reached down to grab it, and then I realized what I just did, so I stopped, and the razor, it hit me right across the thumb and went all the way down to the bone. And I'm sitting up on this ladder, squeezing my hand, blood's coming out, and I'm saying everything you could think of, the goddammits, the motherfuckers, the Jesus, all of it, dude. And these nuns, they're standing there looking at me in the building. They're all coming outside looking at me. I'm pissing blood, just swearing and swearing and swearing. My uncle comes over. He looks at me. He's, Jesus Christ, what's your fucking language? I'm like, holy fuck. You couldn't make this up, right? And these nuns are just, they're in shock. And they were probably mad. And then they see the blood squirting out, and then they got all panicky and went and grabbed some towels. And he reached in his bag and pulls out a tube of super glue, squeezed my finger real hard for a second, dumped some super glue on it, splashed a little water on it so it got hard instantly, and he made me go back to work. I should have went and got stitches. He made me go back to work. But that's my story about super glue. These vehicles, thermostats, miss. All right, man, you be good, Yukon. I appreciate you stopping in for a second. I always appreciate all you guys choosing to hang out. I know, like you're saying, Orange Smoke, I think that's one of the complaints people have with the Glock 44, the 22 long rifle. That, and you only get 10-round magazines, but if you don't load them, right, it shouldn't matter how you load them, but they're single stacked. But people will load them fucked up, and then they'll have feeding issues with them. That's a gun I've had now for, 8 years, 9 years, maybe a little longer. I got it when it first came out. It was announced in January at a SHOT Show, and I got it like the end of January. But all right, John, let's hear the story about the preacher. But that Glock 44 that's in 22, I've never yet had an issue with that. I know for a good year and a half later, everybody was saying what trash they were and how they were unreliable and all kinds of stuff, but I've yet to have a single failure in that gun. I've yet to actually even clean the gun. I've lubed it, but I've never cleaned the barrel at all. I haven't even cleaned the chamber on it. I'm curious how long it's going to run. But with that being said, is we do generally run the CCI mini mags out of it. So so far it still works. Yeah, I don't have any experience with that. That's definitely something, and that's probably why you're saying something is Orange Smoke. I don't think I've ever had any 22 pistols that have been anything more than single stack. They've all been single stack, everything I've ever owned. There you go. That's that actually kind of speaks quite a bit for the reliability of that pistol. You get, what would you say you get for malfunctions out of like 1,000 rounds? How often do you clean in it? Is that when you're running suppressed? So I guess that would be the questions I'd have for you. How often do you clean it? If you clean it, how many malfunctions, and are you running it suppressed? I would assume, being you don't hate it, that it's probably fairly accurate too, correct? One thing I always tell people when they talk to me, they went and looked at guns or they're planning on buying one. don't ever have your feelings broke when you go look at something and you think this is the gun for you. It fits you, it feels good, and everything else. Because sometimes, even though you like everything about it, you may not shoot it very well. I've had a good amount of handguns over the years that I buy and sell, and I never bought them because I didn't like them. I always bought them because I did. But you know, pistols, shotguns, rifles, sometimes you just don't shoot them well. They fit other people better, or something maybe you're doing. But if I pick something up and I don't shoot it reasonably well, I generally get rid of it, with the exception of the Beretta I have, and I keep them for the kids. But you know, John, you could always look into, I'm sure you do, but some of the remanufactured ammunition out there. Sometimes that's a good way to save some money. It can be hit or miss, but it's a good way to save some money. Keeps it dirty. 500 to 600 rounds unsuppressed run till acts about 2,000 rounds. So that's good for a rimfire though. Even the 5 to 6, if it were unsuppressed, wouldn't be unreasonable. Any rimfire gun is dirty. John, are you gonna come back and tell us a story about the priest? Unless he's still typing it. He said he had a good story about a priest and then never said it. But Orange Smoke, do you have to work the weekends, or are you off on weekends? Yeah, I imagine. What do you use for solvent? Curiosity. And you said you shoot mini mags too, right? That's your ammo of choice. No weekends yet. They start hitting you on weekends as it gets later in the season. We're behind schedules. You got to work. Seems like a company never plans on, especially like construction, you know, any kind of construction, they don't plan on any bad weather, you know. Yeah, Hoppy's number 9. It's a great solvent. Main reason I use Hoppies, and I have Butch's Borshine, I have some Sweet 762, I have some Shooter's Choice. I got like 15 different solvents down there. Generally, unless it's summertime and I can open the house up, open the windows, I'll use Hoppy's number 9 because it doesn't stink the house up, you know. Butch's Borshine or the Sweet 762, you know, if you're trying to get copper out or any of that, there's so much ammonia in it that I mean, that shit'll smell for days. But the Hoppy's number 9. I don't know how you clean your stuff, but generally, if I gotta clean the barrel, I'll get some wet patches down it and I'll let it sit for a couple days. You know, I'll get the patch nice and wet, run it through the bore a few times, and then I'll leave it sit there for a few days. Come back and do a few more wet patches through it, let it sit for another couple days. Come back, wet patch, brush it, you know, a dozen times or more. A couple wet patches, couple dry patches, and be done. So for me, if that's, or anybody, I guess, if that's a way you don't mind not cleaning it and putting it back together, it can sit on your bench. That's a good option. Or of course too, right? Come home and clean your gun right away because it's super easy. I don't know what a Garan is. I'm not sure what you mean there, buddy. But Hoppy's number 9 definitely smells good. They actually have a patent on the smell. Because Hoppy's number 9 is, what is it? Kerosene, mineral oil, and a couple other things, but it's a kerosene based cleaner, and that's why they put the scent in it, is to cover up the kerosene smell. But they actually have a patent on it, like the perfume patents, so people can't duplicate the smell. Yep, I have some of that too, the Sub 2000K. Wipe guns down entirely with cleanse oil. I should strip some of the finishes. Yeah, be careful with that. I have some of that wipeout too that I use in my bolt guns. That's the same thing. You get it wet, you let it sit in there for about 10 minutes, and 9 out of 10 times you don't even have to brush it out. Mike, how are you doing, man? I hope your day is going good. Yeah, I'll shoot you my number, man. I'm gonna get a hotel room either way, so I'll get one through. Probably try to use my government employee discount. I don't know. Sometimes they let you and sometimes they don't, but you have Hoppy's number 9 air fresheners. I think you've told me that before. 1914 guns, a long one with wood. I really don't know what you're talking about there. Sorry. I don't think it would really melt it. It'd make it a little slicker, but I'm not looking for any ammunition. If somebody wants to sponsor ammo, it would be 124 grain minor load, something that would work in a Tactical Sport Orange 1 or a Shadow Systems MR920P. Them are the 2 guns my kids shoot. They'll probably make us pick one or the other. So, but I think the veteran discounts are better than the government employee discounts. I didn't see your story. You said you had one about the priest, but I never saw anything posted. It may not have actually posted. I know on other people's stuff, I'll put things in there and you can still see it, but it doesn't actually post. I think that's part of YouTube, what do they call it? Their censorship or their, I don't know, something to do with trying not to allow inappropriate comments or whatever. It's like on Bullseye's stuff, I was leaving comments and I couldn't figure out why he wasn't responding. So I clicked to a different channel of mine, went back in his live and looked for the comments and they weren't there. Yeah, I don't think I'm even subscribed to that EMAC Tactical. I might be. I don't have a way till the kid comes back down here and pulling it up, but we will. I'll make sure. And obviously, too, Ben, thanks for the reminder. Like almost everybody in here is a mod, so I'm gonna say, and you know it already, subscribe to everybody else. So that's important. You know, showing people the support in the lives is huge. You know, liking them in the lives is huge. But make sure you go in people's videos and shorts and stuff, and very least throw an emoji in them. That stuff's really important too. Yeah, their guidelines, the community guidelines. That's what it was. I couldn't think of it. Yeah, John. So it's not showing up for Nick or anything. Nick's. So I don't think your message or your story went through. You hit 600 subs. That's awesome. Yeah, I think I think most everybody is probably subscribed to each other. I know when I go in any one of your guys' lives, or I go in like John's channel and stuff, I see all you guys there. Preacher banging his old lady while you're tying up the bell rope. Well, see, now I'm really curious. That sounds like a good story, man. I want to hear it. Maybe put a sentence or so through at a time, and when I see it, I'll read it out loud. Oh boy. You know, one thing I learned too a long time ago is not all preachers are equal. Um, a lot of people like to use the fact that, hey, I'm a preacher, or I'm a priest, or this and that, trying to like, I'm a good guy, you can trust me. And I'll be honest, every time I heard that come out of one of them guys' mouth, and it wasn't in the church, it was business dealings, right? Every time one of them said, well, you know, I'm a preacher, you know, I'm a priest, I always got fucked over. They were always full of shit. Not that they were a priest or father or whatever, but yeah, it's real deal. El Sancho, how are you doing, man? How'd your day go? Yeah. I was 14. We got ladder to get on foot to tie up the bell rope on the roof. I was 14. We got a ladder to get on roof to tie up the bell rope. Okay. Vatican recruited Muhammad and gifted him a nun to marry to gain control over the Middle East. So was he just giving it to her, or what? Was she screaming out, "Oh God, oh God"? Holy fuck! I'm not gonna read that. Oh, nope. It wasn't a nun. It was a choir boy. Holy fuck! Oh, yep. Guys, step aside. Move aside, Hitler. We got the good guys coming through. Yeah, man, my day's okay. It's almost the weekend, so feel free to let people know in my comments and streams that you make content. Yeah, man. Orange Smoke's got some badass toys, and he's a good dude. He's a strong sponsor on this channel. You guys have seen that. He sponsored the kids a few times with shooting. So I guess a bunch of you guys right away they sponsored, and we used that to donate a 22 to the youth program in Ripon for their junior marksmanship. And then last week, Scoot, speaking of that, so we used the money to sponsor my daughter for Steel Challenge. And then this week, they're sponsoring Gage and Harley for shooting on Sunday, and it'll be USPSA. Scoot, how are you doing, man? I hope you had a good day. Valkyrie boy, how are you doing? In Tampa, Florida. What's the weather like in Tampa, Florida today? Oh, they're only on the making out. Well, that's not as bad. Priests aren't supposed to be married, right? I know in like the fathers in Christianity, not Catholic, same thing, but Catholics, priests aren't supposed to be married, correct? In the 90s, I think we hit 57 for a high today. Orange Smoke, what was your high in Minnesota today? I know he's eating and banging the shit out of her. Hell yeah. Yeah, I don't know how it works. It's it really is too. I wish there was more kids that would do it. My daughter's friend, who she shoots junior marksmanship, wants to come and shoot steel challenge, but we haven't been able to get her out there yet to get familiar with the firearm. I'm not going to just put her on the firing line and never shoot the 1522. I need her for sure to know how to load it, unload it, and be able to understand range commands. So I need a day with her, and we set up like on a Saturday before a match. So she couldn't this last time. 3 weeks now, we'll do it again. So I'll try to get her out there for that. But I really want to introduce people to that. Got up in the 50s. You were driving, sweet. I think nothing else. If people can get kids out and get them shooting, all the bullshit they're going to hear in school or maybe throughout their lives about how horrible firearms are and all that, they're going to have a completely different experience, and they're going to have positive experiences. And that's how we keep these people from being willing to give up our rights. I mean, some of us are older than others, John, but if we can ensure that the younger generation isn't willing to give up our rights that we spent our life fighting for, yeah. Jimmy, good guy. I'm missing something there. Were you on the Jimny show? I stopped in there earlier, and that was why I ended up doing a live. Is I stopped in there, and he got mad because I said hi to people, and they said hi to me. And he said, "If there you go, the Desert Eagle." But he said if I wanted to talk with people, then I needed to go do my own thing. So it is, and to me that bothers me too, Ben. I don't even look at firearms as like a lot of people do of, hey, this is for hunting or this is for this. I look at them strictly as recreational sports. It's something good to, it's an outlet. It's a way for especially kids, you know, you want to see a hyperactive kid learn how to control that real fast. You put them on a firing line. Yeah, well, it's okay. I mean, I when I see his stuff, I stop in and I say hi. Usually I don't stick around very long, but you know. It is, man. It's great things. And it's a good reminder too. Like I remind my kids, hey, you know, that's a good way for you to lose your rights. That's a good way for you not to be able to do something, you know. Local Frog, how are you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. How's everything been going for you? Like, you know, I'm sure you guys have seen it. My kids are into martial arts. You know, my son is a 2nd-degree black belt. My daughter's a 1st-degree black belt. My son does the orchestra.
Yep. Cello.
Plays cello. He's going to Spain here in June. Sorry.
Just over a month.
He's got to be into guns. I admit it. I like the name Barrett. I'm glad my kids are already named because I like the name Barrett. Yeah, well, what it's kind of funny because what maybe he forgets about is having the comments going, people interacting. It still counts for you. It's still giving you your watch hours, which is exactly why he's doing it, right? So that's whatever. That just him saying that made me say, okay, maybe the guy's right. So we threw some stuff together on the table real quick, and do a live. So I didn't do any during the week other than today, so it's okay. Yeah. So my oldest, he did Taekwondo, and then him and I did Krav Maga. Uh, and then when I was a kid, I did judo. My son Gage, he did MMA, and then he went uh,
Jiu-jitsu.
started doing Taekwondo, um, karate, Taekwondo. I think they call it Taekwondo, right?
That's what their main
They-
thing that they do.
They kind of do a mixed thing. It's not just straight karate, and it's not just straight Taekwondo. It's a mix. I don't want to call it the MMA stuff because it's really not. But then he did jujitsu for a while too. Plus he did the high school wrestling and all that. So I think it's funny because I like show videos with him shooting, and people will talk shit to him. Oh, look at that tub gas, dude! This kid has been training since he was 5 years old through mixed martial arts, through Taekwondo / karate, through wrestling and jujitsu. And you're gonna look at that kid and be like, yeah, he's a gummy bear. Okay, okay.
I'll admit I present myself as that, but
But-
no. That's just because I learned the respect.
They do. They are definitely doing it for profit. So I wish that they weren't quite as much. You have a 686 identical to yours. That's a Ruger though. That's not a Smith and Wesson. All right, Orange Smoke. I'll catch you later. Hey, and I'll do the same thing like I did before. I'll send you some actual videos privately because I don't know what I'll get away with being able to post, but I'll post as much as I can with her. Patriot Arms, how are you doing, man? EMAC Tactical, welcome back. I'm not sure what you mean by son. My middle son's the one who's done the most. My oldest, like I said, he did straight Taekwondo, and then him and I did Krav Maga. But Gage is done. He started and it was actual mixed martial arts, and then he went to the Taekwondo / karate. And then while he was doing the Taekwondo and karate, he was also doing jiu-jitsu and wrestling in school. But he's a second degree now. He's working on his third degree.
Yeah.
I like judo. I didn't do the jiu-jitsu. It's similar.
Judo is a lot more just takedowns.
Yeah, judo is more takedowns. Jiu-jitsu, you know, they do some
takedowns and then like arm bars, knee bars, chokes. More of fighting on the ground without punching.
curse the hell out of you. Yeah, but we'll talk to you later. Hey, make sure go to EMAC Tactical. He's in the comments there. Subscribe to him and then send me his page. I think I'm subscribed, but I'm not sure. I can't really pull it up. Yeah, we all know how wives can be. Man, mine was on one yesterday. She was on one yesterday for sure. Just, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. She was being a fucking super cunt. Shed Owl, how are you doing, man? I'm glad you stopped in. Yeah, if you want to sponsor ammo, if you have, I would take any sponsors we can. So I got both my kids, my middle son and my daughter, are active in USPSA and Steel Challenge. My daughter, this is her first year competing in USPSA with a pistol. So, you know, ammo's expensive. I figure if I can use YouTube for a benefit for them, and we get out shooting. So if you want to sponsor ammunition, by all means, I won't turn it down, and we'll provide match footage and whatever else you would be looking for. So. Yeah, I don't know if we had a full moon. Kind of curious. Had to work. That sucks, dude. Nobody wants to go to work to have to work. You know. I've gotten older and I've been at my job a long time, so for me to have to go to work and actually like work like I used to have to, it really irritates me. You know, at this point, it's more I get paid for what I know and not always what I do. Jesus Christ, how are you doing, man? How'd your day go? Did you find this page?
Yeah.
Can I see it? Colt, how are you doing?
Very sure you are. I think he's the guy we were told to sub to.
Oh yeah, I was on his stuff just the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were looking at Emac's page the other night. Yeah, so you're getting paid for what you know too. I mean, there's times you got to work, but at some point, you know, you definitely earn the right to getting paid for what you know. I don't know, John. I think when his wife shows up, he kind of has that like that little fear in his eyes. He's not hiding it because I have the same fear in my eyes. All right, Colt. Well, I appreciate you stopping in, man. So you have a good night. See, that's what I'm saying. She's not fooling me, Ben. Paula, how are you doing? How'd your day go? But Emac, if you're curious, there is match footage posted on the channel of my daughter Harley and of my son Gage. My daughter for Steel Challenge, she's still shooting rimfire, and she's going to continue with that for probably another year or two. But Gage, he shoots PCC occasionally. That's what he started out shooting. But then he competes at Steel Challenge, IDPA, USPSA, and he uses his pistol for that. When he does IDPA, obviously his gun isn't IDPA legal, but he shoots just the local club matches for fun. He tells you just like your granddaughters. Yeah, Paul, I already said hi. So you got to realize there's a delay. So even though I'm watching this on a TV, right, your comments are coming up right away. There's a delay in the response. Chanson, how are you doing, man? How'd your day go? Yeah, check them out. You know, and don't get me wrong, none of us are master class shooters. But that's why if somebody wants to sponsor help, it just makes it easier for them to shoot more. You know, I have myself, then 3 kids that all shoot. So that's my whole goal of YouTube, is to be able to get some of this YouTube advertising money to just pay for us to shoot. You know, pay for them to shoot. I can handle my own stuff, but the more I can get them to shoot, the better they're going to be. And, you know, I really want to see them excel. And my son's gotten better. My daughter's gotten better. Yeah, take the stairs. But Paula, how'd your day go? You said it did good. My day went good. It was a good day. Yeah, we spent a lot of time at the range. Kind of sucks we live in Wisconsin, as it's hard to do a lot of shooting in the winter. All the local matches we used to have in the winter, indoor ranges, stopped this last year. They were sold and one shut down, and all the USPSA matches are in the middle of the week, and they're all like hour and a half, 2 hours away. So we didn't get to shoot much this winter. There you go. But yeah, we do a lot of shooting and spend a lot of time out there. So I got to be careful how much of my daughter I show. If I get her from the back, I'm fine. I don't get in any trouble. They don't give me any strikes. But the first time they see her face in a video and she's got a firearm, I get strikes for it. Sometimes I've argued them and been able to win, and sometimes not. Even with Gage, um, they still nail me on that. On my other channel, they got me on a strike with him right now. He's shooting the Desert Eagle. So even with him, I try to get just the back of his head. We're going to be picking up some of the InstaPro 360s here at some point, and yeah, and then when we do that, then you'll be able to see what they're doing. But it's ridiculous. So like, what's always worked in my favor is in like with the matches with my daughter or the son. If you could see the course of fire, and you could see a range officer there, they generally will reverse a strike in your favor, but they still don't let the video go anywhere. So, like I was saying, Orange sponsor, he sponsored my daughter last weekend to shoot, and I sent him footage privately of her stages at the match. And I think I did the same thing the week before that when she shot USPSA. Like 90% of the footage or more, you could see her face in it. And so I just sent the sponsor that privately for him, right? I would love to put it on the internet, but there's no way I can. So I sent that footage directly to him, so at least he knew we were actually doing what we said we were doing. And then too, we made sure that the daughter in a video, she wanted to put a video on and say, hey, thank you, really appreciate all the stuff that a kid should say when they're real grateful. And then we showed her stages at the match. We didn't show every string. We just took a string out of each stage, and then she said again, thank you at the end. And that's what we would continually do. So if that's something anybody's interested in, then, I mean, you can work that out. But don't feel like I'm shaking anybody down or begging for nothing, because they're going to shoot either way. It's just a matter of how much they get to shoot. I'm not independently wealthy, but shooting's a very important thing to me. It's a good release for kids. It's a good release, when they go to school and their teachers are telling them about how bad firearms are. And my kids are getting in arguments with the teachers and telling them they're full of shit, which has happened. Just recently with my son, he had to write a paper about gun control. The school assigned him a paper to do about gun control.
Well, that is one of the options we could do.
So that didn't go super great. Yeah, man, go to Ripon. Rippon's probably one of the best clubs around. Otherwise, because you're south of Fond du Lac, Saukville is fairly close to you too. It's about the same distance probably as Ripon. Saukville is a really nice range too.
Not even, maybe a little closer.
Yeah, it might even be a little closer, but like I said to you before, Mason, yeah, you need to be a member. So at Ripon, if you want to go shoot 25, 50, 100, or 200-yard rifle, there is a public side that's pay per day.
I think it's like a $5 fee.
Yeah, I think it's only $5. Otherwise, you do a year membership. If you're a yearly member, or like me, I'm a life member, you get a combination and you can use the rest of the range, and you can shoot everything from 600 yards to point blank. So, and like I told you before, if you want to check out the club, man, you just got to figure out how to get a hold of each other. And I'll take you out there and show you the range. There's an indoor range that's right by the university, the Ripon University. So in the wintertime, they have junior marksmanship, which I don't know if you heard me talking about, but that's what the kids shoot. Then they have rimfire league, which is a bullseye league. Then they have like a rimfire silhouette. They have open shoots. Indoors, though, you have to, yeah, so Ripon would be closer. I'd go to Ripon, man. So all you have to do is pull up Ripon Rifle Pistol. You pay your money. You have to set up an appointment to go out, and they'll give you a guided tour of what you can and can't do and show you the facilities. And then you go shoot whenever you want. You can only shoot 50 calibers on the weekend, but the range is open from 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. I think, right? 8 a.m. I don't think we're allowed to shoot before 8 a.m., but you have a combination. So it's an annual fee, but it's only like $50. Pull it up once. Pull up Ripon. My son will pull it up here. Maybe when he when he pulls it up, I'll stick it in front of the camera here. But it's a monthly or a yearly fee, and you can shoot year round. So, and then like I said, in the indoor range, they have specific hours for their. They have velocity limits on firearms. I think you got to be below 1,000 feet per second. So, and they want you to shoot lead, no copper jackets, and that's just because the backstops aren't rated for anything heavy. Yeah, it's not bad. So my first year in Ripon was back in 2000. I think it was $45, and at that time they were trying to purchase the land next door to where the range was, which we can all call the Coral Range. And so they were offering lifetime memberships for $550. And so I just sucked it up. I bought a life membership. The life members now, I think they're $750. But so I became a life member in 2001, and it cost me $550. And here we are in 2025. So I think I've made my money out of the club. And then too, like I say, they shoot every type of competition you could think of out there. They got precision 22, precision rifle, 600-yard rifle. They have PCSL that's starting. They have Cowboy Action. They have IDPA. They have Steel Challenge. They have USPSA. They have Sporting Clays. Them are like Wednesday night, I think Wednesday or Thursday. I don't remember. They don't have trap anymore. They quit doing trap. But
I have this if you want to screenshot it.
let's see if we can get this in front.
A lot of.
Oh, that's too much.
A lot of writing, so I try to get it all on screen.
What is it?
Back up.
Yearly membership, $85.
Yeah.
Okay. You can screenshot that if you want real quick. I'll try to hold it still. Trying to hold it as still as I can. So $85 now.
And for young adult, and it said 18 to 21, it's even cheaper. Or, no, just young adult. My bad. For adult ages 18 through 21. It's only 30.
Yeah, dude. I can shoot my 50. I actually shot a lot faster than I was going to. I wanted my daughter. That's the first time she's been around us when we shot it, and I wanted her to experience that. And I expected my son was going to have her standing sideways or something to get her hair to blow up. That was actually the footage I wanted, but I guess I didn't make that clear. And so he didn't record that at all. I do have a video with her. And her hair went flying, but I don't know if I can get away with posting that or not. So, but yeah, I had it's zeroed for 600, and we were shooting at 200 with it. Usually when I shoot it off the bench like that, I don't use the bipod. I just put it in my rifle rest. But I didn't even disassemble it, take it out there. I took it and stuck it in the back of my truck assembled. That's how lazy I was. It's a pain in the ass to take apart. But yeah, it's not cheap. No, $85 still isn't bad. I'm sorry, I didn't know what the cost currently was, so I do now. But I would say if you're gonna connect with me at all, you're gonna end up shooting competition. But it's a great way for you to get into shooting. It's a great way to really get exposed to a lot of types of things, because a lot of shooters, some people really like shooting like precision rifle, and some people only like shooting.
And there's times in the address.
Oh, here's the address on it too, if you guys want to see that. Let's see if we can get in focus.
And times for shooting.
And times for shooting. So I'll hold that for a second if you guys want to screenshot that. But keep in mind, especially like if you're off during the week, if you go out there during the week, you're generally by yourself. There's nobody else there. The weekend, like the pistol bays, I mean, on Sundays they're being shot, and Saturday afternoon they usually set them up. Most of the people show up about 2 and they're done setting up by 5. But you're by yourself. There's not a range officer watching over you. There's not anybody like that. You get a membership, you go out there and you shoot. Unfortunately, the membership, and I'll say this now if you're interested, sooner than later, because it's not calendar day, it's year to date or yearly. So it's January 1st every year is when that membership comes up. It doesn't matter if you joined December 31st. It comes up every year, January 1st. Yeah. So like the indoor range that was closest. No, man. If you're on the side that the public side uses, there's a row of benches, and nobody's going to tell you have to use a flag, but you're going to communicate with everybody there. Generally, when we shoot rifle, like where I was shooting the 50, that was the public side, and that's just because that side is right after the gate from the pistol range. So when we left the pistol range, we locked the gate, and then it was just easier to go right there. But you just communicate. If you want to go post targets, you communicate with people, hey, we're going down range, and you kind of look to make sure people's shit's unloaded, but no, you don't have to have a muzzle flag. If you're shooting a competition and you're shooting like Steel Challenge or PCSL and stuff, your long gun has to have a flag in it. Your pistol, you're going to keep on you, so you don't have to flag it. All right, John. Well, hopefully, I don't know, could be wind or a storm. So. All right, Ben. You gonna share what the inspiration was? So I'll do a 5-minute countdown too. At 20 after, I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream. I was actually gonna do it 15 minutes ago, but I was talking. So.
You have to put into Google if you want to pin that or search up the range.
There you go. There's well, I need you're in Wisconsin. There's the information.
That's all you need to search up to get the range. And I'll have all the access to everything.
Yeah, that's the information if you want to get to the range.
Yeah, their online website. Which gives you all the rules, everything.
So that should help you out, Mason, if you want to find that. My cat was messing with the barrel and your snake camera, so I'll have that. There you go. Yeah. Shit, I almost forgot you were here, Patriot. You're sitting there being all quiet. I'm pretty sure you knew I was doing a live, so I ran right on over here, right? I was making Iran jokes on somebody else's stuff the other night, and they never did quite get it, and I didn't want to explain to them what I meant. But every time people come up with all the squiggly stuff, I'm like, oh, you must have Iran right to this. But yeah. We got an AR shootout plan to win an upper. All right, so I'm curious. Explain. Just know that I cheat. I really don't cheat. I just say I do. Checking out Emacs Tactical. Yeah, we were on his the other night, actually. That's why when he came in, I thought I was subscribed, and my son pulled it up, and yeah, we're subscribed. So, I'm curious what John's stuff's gonna be. Hey, John, how well did your video do with the dog?
No.
I forget what mine ended up with. I think it's a little over 3,000 views or something, which actually surprised me since it was just a video about the dog laying on the floor. There you go. Yeah, EMAC has pretty cool stuff on his channel. I'm not gonna lie. I try to make sure I make the rounds and check out everybody's stuff. Anybody that, you know, you guys ever see in this channel, EMAC, we'll make it simple for you here. I know I'm gonna be, I got him right. Mod.
EMC.
EMAC, you should be a mod right now.
Oh, I don't want to see this count.
So I'll give you a few minutes here if you wanna. Yeah, there you go. I'll give you a couple minutes here if you wanna check out any of these other channels. I should have done that right away. I'm sorry I didn't. But about a minute here, I'm gonna shut it off. But the next live, you'll still have that. You'll be able to come in and go to other people's channels and connect with them directly. Of course, you know, don't forget to come back here. But yeah. Only thing I'll ever say, and I say it to everybody, is everybody gets trolls, and sometimes, a lot of times, people come in and they're trolling, but you're able to have a conversation with them, and 9 out of 10 times, they end up being some pretty solid people. So I always ask for restraint on booting anybody. The things that I always agree with booting is, number one, if somebody comes in and says, "Oh, guns, I'm scared," they're gone. I permanently boot them from the channel. And then two, if anybody comes in and they see firearms and they mention schools, that again too, I boot them forever. My daughter did a video. She was actually doing it on her own phone, and I thought it was hilarious, so I recorded her in my car. And that's my best video I've had in probably 2 months. It's got like 32 or 33,000 views on it. Michael, there's a lot of good ones out there. Most of it's going to come down to what do you want to spend. Yeah, well, I mean, personally, anybody that's, like I said, anybody that has issues with firearms and says that, they don't belong on the channel. There's nothing here for them to see. Nothing. You know, and then when they mention, like I said, schools, then again, too, there's nothing and no reason for them to be on this channel. So they go down the road. I have no reason to have them. So I'm even cool. You know, we've gotten people that wanted to have discussions. You know, maybe they're a little bit more on that libtard side. And I can understand that. I'll even have them discussions, you know, as long as it's a discussion, not somebody thinking they know facts and they're completely bogus. But I've actually been surprised that a lot of people, like I said, they come in trolling, and I'll ask them, you know, why are you trolling, man? You know, there's some cool guns. Don't you want to talk about firearms or whatever? And 90% of the time, 90%, not all the time, most of the time they end up being some pretty cool people and end up having cool channels. And, you know, I admit it. Generally, when I come across a new channel and they're doing lives, I kind of do that trollish stuff. Off the top of my head, Michael, I'm not really sure what I would recommend. I don't know what type of stores you have around you, but a lot of times it's better to check them out in person. A $2,000 safe can mean one that holds 100 guns. It can mean one that holds, you know, 10 guns. But you want something that's solid, has a high fire rating, that can be bolted down. Because the way people break into safes is they tip them over and they bend the door up. They pry the doors up. So you want something that resists fire and can be bolted down so it can't be tipped over. But with that, gentlemen, I've actually been on here a little bit longer. So I'll let you guys go. Come on, Lever. If the dog doesn't knock the camera down. I appreciate you taking your time to hang out with me. I'm pretty sure Ben, he'll probably be live yet tonight, right? Yeah, Browning makes good safes. I don't think they actually make them. It's another company. There's only a true, I think there's like 2 or 3 true safe. I will, as soon as I'm done with this, Ben, there's only like 2 or 3 true safe manufacturers in the country. a lot of them just rebrand for people. But as always, gentlemen, I'll check back with you in a little bit, Ben. Either way, I'll send you an email. Read your idea. I didn't see anything about your idea. I just saw you said one. And I saw it's where you said you didn't get very many views on your dog video, or you only had like 100 in the last 2 days. Yeah, I don't see anything about an idea. Post it in your channel, or post it in one of your videos or something, and let me know it's there. Or post it in one of my videos. But all right, gentlemen, with that, I keep postponing this. I thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great Friday. And I'll probably catch you tomorrow if I can make time. So good night.